What is going on, CaneSport? Izubee Charles, joined by Stephen Wagner for a special CaneSport right now. Stephen, yesterday Miami landed their first commit of the spring. 2026 four-star offensive lineman Ben Congdon chose the Canes after visiting on Monday. Stephen, he's a massive 6'7" offensive lineman from Ohio, and Miami lands another prospect from Big Ten country. Monday was his second visit to Miami. Why do you think the Canes were able to close yesterday with Ben Congdon?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I really do think that it was Mario Cristobal and it was Alex Mirabal. I think that their resume, developing offensive linemen, really spoke heavily to Ben. I think the program's very clear focus on building the team and the offense around the offensive line, I think, is something that really resonated with him. And then I think, coming down with his whole family, coming down with, his parents, his brother, everyone all together. I think it was just finally the right time. Um, I think that he's an absolutely perfect fit for Miami. I think he's exactly what Miami looks for in an offensive tackle. In terms of his actual physical traits and measurables, I mean, he was built in a lab. That's what you want an offensive tackle to look like. Long, very strong, can get his weight up to above 300 pounds if he needs to. I think pretty easily. Really athletic too. He's a wrestler. I think right now his weight's somewhere around the 280 range, something like that. Has really good bend, really good flexibility. Like I said, pretty athletic, pretty agile. Still has a little bit of work to do in pass protection, like the overwhelming majority of offensive linemen coming out of high school. But I really do think that this is kind of your prototypical Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal get. I think this is the kind of guy that these coaches have really valued and heavily favored whenever they've been evaluating offensive linemen. I think that he's the absolute perfect fit for Miami.
Yeah, another piece of that great wall of Alex Mirabal that people like to call it. Like you mentioned, Miami loves to add massive bodies to that offensive line room. And Ben Cogden is a guy that has a great wrestling background. That there's a few guys in this 2026 cycle that has that. Ryan Merritt down in Southbridge, Ben Cogden, a high level wrestler. And, Miami's looking for those big guys that can actually move. Obviously, you love having big bodies across offensive line, but guys that can move and do other things and just take up space. And Steve, you did a great analysis on Ben as well too. Just obviously you mentioned his bend and all that stuff, but just watching his tape, what do you think stands out the most about his game to you?
Man, I really do feel like he's a versatile tackle that's going to be able to play either side of the offensive line. I think he absolutely is a tackle. I have zero doubt in my mind about that. I don't really think he sort of has what you would want in a guard. I think he is like exactly made to be an offensive tackle. Like I said, he's really agile, moves really well. Very strong, plays with tremendous pad level for being 6'8". I mean, really fires off the ball, really does a good job getting underneath and displacing some of his opponents, even if his opponents are a little bit smaller than him. Really dominates in the run game, seeks physicality, very quick reactions. I mean, heck, there's a clip on his huddle where you see him engage with one defender in the run game, and then immediately after that, he sees a linebacker coming down trying to fill a gap, and so he moves off of that. He moves off the defender he's blocking at the last second, pancakes him, then moves over and pancakes the guy who's blitzing. I mean, like he really is one of these elite talented guys. The only kind of question that I do have for him a little bit is I don't think he's played against absolutely tremendous competition at the high school level. Right now, I don't know if I've seen a clip of him going up against someone who I honest to God thought, yeah, that kid is better than him. So might take a little bit for him to, really adjust to the different talent level that he'd see at a place like Miami. But he absolutely has every single trait that you would want in an offensive lineman. And I think that all of his traits are going to carry over very well to the next level.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. One thing you can't teach is size, and Ben has that. Around 6'7", 6'8", 270 pounds, and he has that frame to add on a lot of weight. You want to take a look at his rankings in the on three industry ranking. He's the number 318th overall prospect, but with on-3 rankings, he's the number 177 overall prospect. And he's one of the offensive tackles that have been, getting a lot of, praises from a lot of different people across the country, seeing his stock rise. And I think that's going to continue to rise, this spring and then throughout the fall during the senior year. So great eval from the Miami Hurricanes, landed Ben Cogden, who's now the fourth member of that 2026 class, joining Darion Coleman, Camden Portis, and Jordan Campbell. Steven, we talked about this, I believe, a few shows ago. We think the spring Miami's going to land, potentially 4 or 5, maybe even 6 commitments. So who do you think may be next to jump on board and commit to the Hurricanes in the next few weeks over this spring?
So during March, I think it's possible that Miami ends up getting around 3 or 4 total commits, including Ben. I think that a couple other candidates that I'm keeping an eye on are going to be Javari Flowers, the 2025 cornerback who reclassified up from 2026. He is coming off the board March 31st. I think that Miami is going to be in a good position for him. I absolutely think that the Hurricanes are going to have a really good shot for him. If you had to ask me right now, do I think it's going to be Miami or the field? I would probably say Miami. Then outside of him, looking at some other guys, I think Javian Mallory absolutely has to be a candidate, the 4-star running back from West Boca. Miami is continuing to do very, very well with him. Again, another one of those guys who, I'm kind of starting to feel like he's trending toward Miami. I'm starting to feel like Miami is trending or is in the best position to land him. I recently entered a prediction in the On3 recruiting prediction machine for him. So now we're just kind of waiting to see what eventually happens. But then another name that I think might surprise a few people, Luke Sorensen. He's a 3-star tight end out of Servite, California, over in Anaheim. I am keeping a very, very close eye on him. I think he could be one that could kind of surprise a few people. I think he's kind of quietly starting to lean toward Miami a little bit. Now it's not a guarantee that he would commit this spring, but he has said before, if he finds the right place, he's not going to waste time. He's not going to dilly-dally. He's ready to go ahead and pull the trigger when he finds the place that he feels is home. He's coming to Miami this month. I think and that's a big if, Miami blows him away, it would not stun me if he ended up committing. And it's also possible that, we get 1 or 2 surprises here or there, but those are 3 names that I feel pretty good about right now.
Yeah, out of all those 3 names, I have to agree with you the most with Javian Mallory. He was another guy that was on campus on Monday, and he left Colgate was smiling. Matt Merritt was walking him out, having a good time. Had the chance, talk with him a little bit, off the record too, and he's saying all the right things about the Canes. So if I was a betting man, I think I'd put my money on, Javian Mallory being that next commit. But a lot of other guys are going to be making their ways through Colgate over these next few weeks. So, stay tuned with CaneSport as we'll have you updated with all the top recruiting news and team news as well. And if you like this CaneSport Right Now episode, leave a big like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And make sure to check out CaneSport.com for our latest Miami Hurricanes news. For Stephen Wagner, I'm Izubee Charles. Thank you all for watching.